Let's talk about something else, which is that you recently wrote a book called Principles. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's read by people way beyond the financial industry. Part of what you talk about is the culture that you developed at Bridgewater, which you say yourself is not right for everybody. It's tough. It's like the SEAL team of corporate environments. Only certain people can handle it. And in the book, you lay out your principles that have helped you be successful. What have you learned from feedback from the outside world as people have digested the book? And does it make you change any of those principles?
My main thing, it didn't, meaning it's very simple in one sentence. What I want is meaningful work and meaningful relationships through radical truthfulness and radical transparency, because they reinforce each other. And that's what's worked for me. If you're on a mission to do wonderful things, understand the world, and try to do great jobs together, and you're tough with each other, but also develop those meaningful relationships so you feel like you're sharing each other's lives and you're committed to that mission, that's very powerful. But the radical truthfulness, so that you don't not BSing at each other and you know really what's going on, and you can be totally straightforward in terms of even looking at people's weaknesses and their mistakes so that you can learn from those. And so that radical truthfulness and that radical transparency so people can see things themselves, to me, has been a miracle formula. And I'm so pleased because I get literally, I don't know if it's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, a lot of people who thank me for that changing their lives. However, having said that, I don't think my principles are important. You can pick whatever principles that you want. What I learned when I was going along is that every time I would make decisions, they're paid, particularly after mistakes, it paid to write down what my principles were for dealing with that the next time I'm going around. And I think the important thing is individuals picking their principles for themselves. So one of the things that's excited me about it is also people doing it for themselves. I don't want them to follow my principles. I want them to think hard about what works and then think about being clear on their own principles, to realize that the same things happen over and over again. So every time you have an experience, particularly if you have a bad experience, a painful experience, that there are lessons to be learned and ways to change and principles to develop so that you can do it better next time. And one of the key principles is to know that you don't know what's best necessarily, to separate yourself from your individual opinion, to have a fear of being wrong. I have a tremendous fear of being wrong because in the markets you learn that. And if you don't learn that, that gives you then the open-mindedness to take in from other people what you've learned.